So here's our new system for how we're watering the hogs. It can be a challenge out in the pasture to get water to hogs. Initially we had a pond that the hogs were drinking out of, and then they also had supplemental water, but the pond is dried up. It's late July here in Texas, so that's pretty common. So what we have here is a 50 gallon food grade barrel, and it has a hog nipple on it, and at the top you can see we have a hose with a float that goes into it. That hose is hooked up to a spigot that's about 100 feet away from here, and it has a timer on it. So the water is going on about 4 times a day to keep this barrel full, and then the hogs can drink out of it as they need to, and the water pressure isn't on the hose 24 hours a day, which is really doesn't work very well. Eventually springs a leak. But we also put a stick in the hog nipple initially so that it drips out, as you can see, and the hogs can learn that that's where the water comes from. You can see they're figuring it out there, but they also get a little bit of water that drips into the pan, so they don't dehydrate in the meantime. So I'll let you see here. This is what used to be the pond. Now it's just a big mud wallow for them. But over here is where we had the hose hooked up. We have the water line underground that runs all the way to here, and then we have this water spigot hooked up with a timer, and puts pressure on this hose 4 times a day to fill up the tank, or the barrel that we have here. So you can kind of see how they're learning how to drink out of that. Okay, it's been a few weeks now since we installed this new watering system. You can see in just a few weeks how the pigs kind of tear it up, and that's what would happen if we had a permanent water system right here. We need to be able to move it occasionally so that we can move it to another spot and let that area fill back in again. So the water has stayed full, and the pigs all know how to drink out of it fine now, and so we are pleased with the system. Also, because it's hooked up to the timer, it only goes on 4 times a day, doesn't keep pressure on the hose permanently, and that seems to be an advantage as well. So hopefully problem solved.